Right, 6 February 2025, and today I'm yet again very excited to be giving you my update. Every morning I give you this update of all the interesting and exciting and trending stories in Africa, and specifically focusing on Southern Africa. There is a lot happening in our region, and in Zimbabwe we're going through one of the most critical periods. As I explained last year, and this is going to be one of the most eventful months ever. And this particular week is going to be very important. Between today and the 10th, we're expecting fireworks, as the war veterans of Zimbabwe have asked Mnangagwa to step down within 10 days. So we're looking up to Sunday, this coming Sunday, which is the 9th, and then something must happen by the 10th, or nothing will happen. Who knows? This is Zimbabwe. Anything can happen in our country. However, today I want to start with the key events that have happened yesterday. Then I will go into our headline. So the most important event has been the meeting between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. So yesterday, Mnangagwa and Chiwenga addressed a meeting of the provincial ministers. So this was the meeting which was held yesterday, and Mnangagwa and Chiwenga both addressed this meeting. I do not understand the whole purpose of the meeting and why they called it, but it appears to have been some sort of alignment meeting. So alignment of the provincial ministers of Zimbabwe. And I saw that there were quite some interesting people over here. If you look at Chiwenga and Mnangagwa, they are not sitting next to each other. There's a big gap between them. You can see it on the left, that Chiwenga and Mnangagwa are sitting away from each other, and Chiwenga is surrounded by his bodyguards. That is very interesting, that Chiwenga is surrounded by his bodyguards. Usually it's Mnangagwa who is surrounded by his bodyguards, but this time around, you can see Chiwenga surrounded by 2 bodyguards and Mnangagwa by himself. So I don't know if the bodyguards are there to protect Chiwenga or to prevent him to getting to Mnangagwa. That is crazy. Look at it very carefully. You will find it very interesting. And obviously Mnangagwa spoke a lot and said a lot. And this is obviously a developing story. The relationship between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga cannot be fixed. That relationship is dead. And the 2 men are going to fight each other to the death. So very soon, we're going to see one man coming up on top between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. But Mnangagwa on his way out, Chiwenga on his way in. The question is, does Chiwenga have a plan? Because it's very important for Chiwenga to have a plan of how to get into office and turn Zimbabwe around. If Chiwenga is smart, he's going to run one of the best governments ever in Zimbabwe. Obviously, after the removal of Mnangagwa here. Now, let's go to South Africa. And in South Africa, there has been a terrible accident, or 2 terrible accidents. So, Harmony Gold Mine has lost 5 workers this week, and their operations have been suspended at 2 locations. That is Doornkop Mine in Soweto, where 2 people died in an accident, and then 3 people died in the Free State at Goma Mine. So 5 employees of Harmony Gold have died, and this is through accidents. So the man I'm displaying here is the Floyd Masemula. He is the deputy CEO of Harmony Gold, and he is one of the guys there who is a co-CEO with Baz Nel. So Baz Nel is the CEO of Harmony Gold, and Floyd Masemula, the deputy. So these are the guys responsible for this mine. Unfortunately, mining accidents becoming a big problem in South Africa. But Harmony Gold, probably one of the biggest gold mines in all of South Africa. I used to do audits there when I first came to South Africa. Very nice locations, but unfortunately, it seems like accidents are becoming more and more common in the mining sector of South Africa. So very sad situation there. An accident at Harmony Gold. Now let's go to the news or the headline. And I now want to talk about SADC, the Southern African Development Corporation community, sorry, and the EAC, the East Africa community. They are going to host a joint summit in Tanzania, and SADC has invited M23 rebels. So M23 rebels are fighting the government of the DRC, and the chairman of SADC, Mnangagwa, has told the local newspapers and the local TV stations that M23 must be invited to the meeting. It's a dialogue between the two sides. And as I said yesterday, this is a very important meeting, because after this meeting, the war is going to escalate or the war is going to end, because Rwanda is supposed to leave the airport. However, yesterday, something even worse has happened. Rwanda have now brought their police into Goma. They have brought their soldiers into Goma. And basically, Goma is under Rwanda as we speak. 3,000 people who died have been buried yesterday. And M23 has summoned everyone in Goma to come to the stadium. So I want to start showing you the pictures now of what happened yesterday. So M23, I do not know who is helping them, but they were overseeing this burial here. So this is the burial of 3,000 people that died during the war. So the war that happened, or the firefighting, or the battle that took place last week, in which 14 South African soldiers died, resulted in the death of 3,000 civilians and soldiers. So throughout this fighting, 3,000 people have died. And these were all buried yesterday. They were buried in mass graves. And you can see this taking place here. So that is the burial that took place yesterday. And those 3,000 people have been buried, after which M23 has summoned all the residents of Goma to come to the stadium for an announcement. And as I said, Rwanda has taken over the control of policing within Goma. And that means if you want to take Goma, you now have to fight Rwanda, because Rwanda is now in charge over there. There is a ceasefire, and I now want to, so my sources in Rwanda and in Goma, they give me some names which I can't read. So sometimes I have to kind of refer to my messages here. So what has happened is M23 has declared a ceasefire. However, they have now nominated a governor for Kivu. So there are now two governors of Kivu, one for the government of the DRC and one for the government of M23. And then M23, while they have said there is a ceasefire, they have gone on and taken a village called Nyabibwe. So in South Kivu, they've attacked the village of Nyabibwe and they've taken that village. So the fighting continues in the DRC, and that fighting is not going to stop. So SADC has now invited M23, and Rwanda is also going to be there. I do not know if Felix Tshisekedi is going to be there, because obviously you know that he doesn't attend most of these summits that take place. South Africa is interested in getting the bodies of their soldiers to come to South Africa. The bodies were supposed to arrive yesterday, but according to my understanding, those bodies have not arrived as of yesterday. So which means something has happened. The South Africans have not been able to find the bodies, or not been able to get the bodies out of Goma. This is an active battle scene, and there are still bodies inside the fields. So I hope that some of the bodies that are on the ground have been picked, and that those bodies that are being buried there. Now, like I told you yesterday, there were still bodies on the ground. So that burial that took place yesterday of 3,000 people, I hope that this includes all the bodies that were on the ground that were not yet picked up. According to my sources walked into this place and they found these bodies lying there. So I hope that these are the bodies that were on the ground that were just picked up and buried. So I hope that clears the situation to do with the bodies. But the South Africans, the bodies had not arrived as of yesterday. Now I want to show you Mnangagwa speaking, inviting M23, so that we get a picture of what he said regarding M23 over there.
One would want to see a central government that is in full control of that vast country. That's the first step, I think. Currently, you have various authorities speaking differently in the same country. But I believe that it will be most fruitful if all the parties to the issue are present. It doesn't help to discuss matters without some of the participants being absent.
Right. So this is clear. The situation is very, very bad, worse than most people think. And the M23 is very strong. M23 is not a ragtag army. They are very organized and they're able to withstand any attack from SADC. SADC will not be able to sustain an attack in the DRC. They don't have the willpower, and I do not think they will be able to last in the DRC. So it's a quagmire. They mustn't go in there. And as I said to you, M23 has brought in between 2,000 and 3,000 new soldiers on top of the community that they've trained. So I want to show you a little small clip here, but it's not going to be full screen, so you probably don't see it properly. But someone was doing surveillance and they showed this video to me of M23 arriving in Goma.
Délégation des M23 à Goma. Tunakufia Goma. Délégation qui a sai. Aba bote de M23. Mungu wangu.
So you can clearly see thousands and thousands of M23, Rwanda taking over policing, and SADC is not capable of fighting these guys. They shouldn't even try. What I normally say to SADC is just beg for mercy and ask for soldiers to come back home. Malawi, Tanzania, South Africa, they are not able to fight these guys. So what is needed here is a solution, probably some form of agreement on what needs to happen. And the organizations like EU, countries like France, and also the United Nations playing a big part over there. As you know, France and Rwanda, they've got a partnership in Mozambique, and Rwanda is very strong. You cannot fight Rwanda and win. That is almost an impossible battle. You can't do it. The Rwanda guys, they fight very, very well, very organized army. And DRC is not capable of defending. West South Africa, I do not think the South African public is willing to go into that war. So there is a political dimension to the war from the South African perspective. They are able to fight Rwanda, but I don't think they can be able to do it because the war won't have any support from the public. Right, I think I've covered everything here. So as I said, Mnangagwa inviting M23, he says it's better for M23 to attend the summit, which is going to start tomorrow. And this summit is going to start tomorrow, Friday. It's going to end on Saturday. So that is Friday the 7th, Saturday the 8th in Tanzania. And that will have EAC and SADC. I think some of them will be virtual and some of them will be present in person. But that is all the presidents of SADC and also all the presidents from the East African community are going to meet over there. And currently the South African soldiers' bodies stuck over there in Goma, and also over 200 injured South Africans stuck there in Goma, no way to come home. And also, basically, Rwanda has taken over Goma and running the place with their own police and with the army also having taken over the airport. So that is the current situation in Goma, the most dangerous situation in Africa at the moment. But with Rwanda definitely on top, and SADC are just begging for mercy. Right, let me go to Zimbabwe. So we're done with this topic. Let me go to Zimbabwe and cover a few stories. So Zimbabwe war veteran, Comrade Bombshell, has given Mnangagwa 10 days to step down. And Mnangagwa and his supporters have responded. Yesterday, there was a resolution in Mashonaland in the West to expel Comrade Bombshell from ZANU-PF. So that's his name, Comrade Bombshell. He's not my comrade, but he's Comrade Bombshell. So they've expelled him from Mashonaland in the West. They've given a resolution, and then it has to go to the central ZANU-PF disciplinary committee. However, it's not going to work because he's got too much support. Geza has got too much support, and Mnangagwa has got no support. So Geza has said the only 2030 that Mnangagwa is going to see is 8:30 on the clock. Mnangagwa is not going to get a third term, and this man is very, very strong. He's got a lot of support. However, the supporters of Mnangagwa want to get rid of him. And yesterday they did that resolution to say he must be removed. And let's see what happens today. Ziambi also on top of that situation. The guys who support Mnangagwa want him expelled, but I think it would be a bad mistake if they do so. So he is not kidnapped or abducted, according to Blessing Shah. He said that guy is safe because he's got a lot of security and no one dares to touch a war veteran. So let's see if they manage to get rid of him. I think Mnangagwa has got nowhere to go. Whichever way Mnangagwa goes, he's going to lose to the war veterans. The war veterans are very strong and they've got the support of the whole country. Then the Africa CEO Roundtable is going to take place, and you can see the people who are going to be speaking here. There is Ngobizi Tanjovu, there's Kudam Mnangagwa, there is John Mishawan and Tatenda Mabetera. And then the business people, obviously, Busi Samoyo, Eddie Cross, Kenas Mafukidze, and Anesu Daka. They're going to attend here on the, this meeting is going to be at the Rainbow Towers. And that is on the 18th of February. So if you want to buy the ticket, I'll put the link over. It's $100 for members and $150 for non-members. Then let's see if there's anything else here that I need to cover that I haven't covered before I go to the newspapers. Zimbabwe Learning Passport. There is a free learning platform for students in Zimbabwe. I'm going to put that link. If you've got a child that is in primary school and they need to study for free, the UNICEF has put out a Zimbabwe Learning Passport platform. So UNICEF is a children's organization from the United Nations. So I'll put the link there. You can go and your child can learn there for free. And then President Hakainde Hichilema, as usual, my favorite President Hakainde Hichilema has attended or addressed a Zambia-Japan Business Forum. So if you go to President Hakainde Hichilema's Facebook page, you're going to see that he has attended that Zambia-Japan Business Forum at Jetroho in Tokyo, Japan. So President Hakainde Hichilema doing very, very well, traveling all over Japan and trying to get Japan to come and invest in Zambia with a parts or components for Toyota company. So he wants Japan to set up a plant there. Zambia, an amazing country, a very big country. When I go to Zambia, I only cover the little portion around Lusaka. I'm one person who doesn't know Zambia. But when I fly through Zambia, what I've seen about Zambia, it's a vast country with almost nothing in the countryside. Like it's an explored country, massive, massive country. And I think that would be a good idea for President Hakainde Hichilema to bring Toyota into Zambia. And then let's look at one of my favorite accounts, Minnie Valoi. She is showcasing the jump rope challenge. So this month's challenge is the 28-day rope challenge. 200 skips to 1,500 skips a day. Guys, skipping is amazing. So if you don't have a gym like me, you can see my treadmill at the back there. That's one of my favorite missions. Jumping rope is amazing. I used to do it in my garage, my old house. So if you want to see how much air is in your stomach, do jump rope. Those who don't jump rope, you are sleeping with a lot of air in your stomach. So go and check out Mini and her jump rope challenge over here. Amazing stuff. And then obviously we have set up our men's clinic in Harare. And the most important thing is Move. You must have your Move. And also you must make sure that you get your tests done. That is prostate and STI tests. Very, very important. You must not have those in your life. So I'll be letting you guys know slowly, especially the guys who come to collect the Move and the caps, the Capiam Dara from Harare and from Bulawayo. So let me know if you want to get those tests done. We have started. The process is already in place and everything is already in place over there in Harare. Then Victoria Falls. So we've got a lot of people that have registered from outside. So that is the diaspora Zimbabweans. We are going to be building the mini or the tiny homes for you to come home so that you've got someone to stay. 500 Zimbabweans are going to be deported from the United States. And if you come home, you don't want to live in someone else's house. So join our tiny homes, $1,000 deposit, and then $300 a month for 24 months. And you're going to get a tiny home on free land in the Victoria Falls, one of the best areas to live. So don't live in a foreign country where you spend 90% of your salary on rent and you don't have a future there. So if you're a Zimbabwean living in the diaspora, join this program, WhatsApp me on this number and become part of it. We already have thousands and thousands of people on this program. Now, let me look at the newspapers very quickly. I want to start with the H Metro newspaper. And in the H Metro newspaper, they are leading with the story of Masimba Chandavengerwa. Masimba Chandavengerwa is a Borojo man, and he has been having a girlfriend at Masasa. And Masimba Chandavengerwa aitongwa nemusalad. Musalad aitora mari yake, but asingamupi chill. Guys, Masimba Chandavengerwa has been arrested after he demanded kuti haadi kutongwa nemusalad, and he's in jail after he complained that he's been spending so much money on his girlfriend and getting nothing in return. So they've arrested him after he decided to take the something for himself. So you can go check it out in H Metro newspaper, newspaper Mkoma wangu Sharuko. Andy Hodges has started his channel. You can go and subscribe to Andy Hodges' channel. He started his channel, and I invite Andy Hodges to come here and join me in the mornings. Andy Hodges, if you're watching, you're welcome to come here and build your brand. You can co-host with me every morning. That is an amazing opportunity, Andy Hodges. If you don't take this, it's your own fault. Because Kabako Media, every single day, 100,000 people watch here. So Andy Hodges is invited to come to Kabako Media and watch as he likes. Then President Venancio Mondlane of Mozambique, that is the second president of Mozambique. Mozambique currently has two presidents, President Chapo of Frelimo and President Venancio Mondlane of Podemos. So yesterday, President Venancio Mondlane had an interview in which he was asked if it is legal to have a shadow government in Mozambique. And he is explaining, you can go to his Facebook page over here and see what President Venancio Mondlane said. He said 100 days of no protests. If there's no deal in 100 days, the protests are going to restart and the government of the Frelimo is going to be toppled or removed by force. And then obviously, President Duma Boko has not posted today. I haven't seen any new posts from President Duma Boko. Very interesting president of Botswana. And I hope to get an invite next time when I'm in Botswana to meet him. That'll be interesting. I know some people who know President Maboko, so I don't think that'll be a problem for me to get an invite. Right now, let's recap. But before we do so, let's look at the comments. Thank you very much, Priscilla. Mumbe Marie, Mr. Mumbe. Mumbe, you can WhatsApp me on this number for Mumbe information. So, I will see you Tamba Mumbe, Mumbe Wakasimba. And then let's look at South Africa. Vanga Vaka Jairama illegal immigrants. M23. No, Mkoma. M23. I don't know what to think about M23, to be honest. Because M23 is like the CCC with an army. So that is what M23 is like. They are fighting for a certain group of people who are oppressed and who are facing genocide. So it's very difficult to say what do you say about M23. The question is, should they take the whole country or should they take a certain portion of the country? So very important questions over there. Since when have you started reporting South African news opposed to your usual news? And it looks like there isn't anything happening with which is serious in Zimbabwe because there's no opposition. Your deployment, there is no opposition, your deployment. Sorry, Rudd, what's happening in the DRC is not South African, it's Southern African. DRC is part of SADC, South Africa is part of SADC, Zimbabwe is part of SADC, and so is Tanzania. So what is happening in the DRC, the death of people in the DRC, 3,000 people buried yesterday. It's a world event when you get 3,000 people buried in a mass grave. And I'm showing you this thing that happened yesterday. It didn't happen 10 years ago. But this war has killed so many people. And bodies were on the street in Goma, like on the floor. Bodies were just lying there. When my sources went there, I've got guys who are in there. They found bodies on the ground. So this is not just a small thing. It's a very, very big thing. And right now, South African families are waiting for their bodies to come back home to be buried. What they're going to find is that there are actually more South African soldiers that have been killed. There are actually many, many South African soldiers that have been injured. And also imagine all these 3,000 families affected here in Goma. Mnangagwa is a friend of Kagame. He was given angle cows by Kagame. Zimbabwe was given maize by Rwanda. I agree, Mkoma GP. That is true. Mnangagwa is very close to Rwanda. Mnangagwa sent soldiers to Uganda. Earlier this year, you can Google, I did a video on it. Mnangagwa had soldiers in Uganda. And South Africa and Mnangagwa, they've got a disagreement over this approach of Mnangagwa. So I don't know what is going to happen. That is why South Africa was in the DRC. And apparently, according to rumors, Mnangagwa then called Rwanda and told Rwanda that South Africa was in the DRC by themselves. They were not there for SADC. This is something that I've heard from people, some very well-placed sources. Mnangagwa looks sick in that video. Tell us Mnangagwa is sick. Let's see. Is Mnangagwa sick? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, guys. Mnangagwa is not sick. Mnangagwa anodya guchu. Guchu munoriziva here. Ukadya guchu haurwari. So Mnangagwa ari kurova guchu. For his age, this man is very strong. He's not sick, this one. Don't expect him to die. He's very strong. Mnangagwa anogona kurwara zvimwewo zvekudhara, but he's basically quite healthy. He can easily do 2030, 2035, even 2040. He can do this, and don't wait for him to drop. But I'm on Uyu. This is the man. This is our hope. This man here, Blessed Geza. If they expel Blessed Geza, let's support this man to form a political party. Let's support him to form a very strong political party. This man is going to remove Mnangagwa as part of that ZANU-PF fighting. Right, I think I've covered everything here. And what I want to do now is to just look at the last comments. Yes, Ngoma Nasha, maybe it's better to hear the story of M23. M23, I watch them every day. Unfortunately, I don't understand the language. So I just watch them talking. It's crazy. Let me tell you a secret about language. I looked so stupid when I was in Mozambique. So my grandmother could speak Portuguese and I couldn't speak Portuguese. And I was in varsity. So we went deep into the bushes of Mozambique. Me and my grandmother went to this place. There's a dam there about 150 kilometers from the border of Zimbabwe. We went in there to see some people. And there is a university there. So there was no transport. When we came back, I had to hop on the truck. And I hopped into the truck with about 20 university students. And there were many boys and many girls. So now they're trying to talk to me. And they're talking Portuguese. And all I was doing was looking. And my grandmother had to interpret for me. That was so crazy. So language, the same thing with M23. When they talk, I watch them and I don't hear what they're saying, but it's interesting. So for some reason, it seems to be interesting to whoever other people. Right, I think we're all doing very, very well, quite relaxed. Everything's going well, and we're all going to do very, very well. We're looking forward to an amazing period in our country. Nelson Chamisa has posted a message of hope to Zimbabweans. You can go and check it out on his Twitter. He has also posted it on his Chamisa News channel. So if you open your WhatsApp and you go to updates, so WhatsApp, you go to updates, and then you look for the Chamisa News channel, you're going to see that Chamisa has posted this message. Happy days are coming, and this time is the best. It is God who makes nations great and great. God who makes Zimbabwe a giant. God will build Zimbabwe great. I rest my case. Guys, in what I believe Kuti, the universe was created and were put on earth and were given energy and brains. And our leaders motivate us like Nelson Chamisa. But us, the people, must do the groundwork. If you sit back and don't fight, nothing is ever going to happen. So we need to fight. Fight Mnangagwa. Fight Nyabibwe. Fight the cabal. 10 days. That is what Mnangagwa was given. We are giving Emerson Mnangagwa 10 days to respond. Failure will trigger serious consequences. That is what has happened. Mnangagwa has 10 days to respond. Otherwise, chakachaya. Fun of you. Right. I would like to thank all of you for watching. And please remember, if you have filled the form, we need you to pay. You now need to pay for the Victoria Falls project. Please make your payment and then you get your contract. Let's build something great as Zimbabweans. Do not just sit back and watch, become part of everything that we're doing. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and a good